Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By 10 Forward
25?
25.
Whoa.
Yes. Where we're gonna talk season 1 of Strange New Worlds.
Holy shit, spoilers abound.
Yeah.
Stop listening.
If
Just
you don't
in general.
Be spoiled.
Oh, wait, if you don't want to be spoiled. Yes.
Wow.
Bye, Liz.
I'm Chris,
Have you
and
not
joining
seen
me.
it? Yeah. I have to. It's okay.
That would be hilarious. This is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
Jake.
Oh, yeah.
And Liz. I wish
Yes.
that the audience could have seen those finger guns.
They don't get the finger guns through the
That's a shame.
microphone.
He's very charismatic.
Good try.
Carries through.
We're gonna do a sort of very broad overview of the first season of Strange New Worlds. That's the plan.
That's the plan. We did the same thing for Picard a while back, and Jake got to vent a whole lot.
Blech.
Oh, I should catch up on that.
But first, I think the most important thing about this episode that we want to get taken care of right away is the special event that Liz procured for us.
Well, I guess I feel like thematically it's appropriate, because Pike just needs to cook for everyone, and I had an opportunity to make drinks for everyone. So everyone here, this is a great drink for podcasting.
Listen to it. It sounds great.
There was a Star Trek cocktail book that Ames got over to me, and they had a variation of a very famous Star Trek cocktail, but not the original recipe from Quark's Bar in Vegas. But this is a version of the Warp Core Breach, though it's really it contains less alcohol than the original. So I'd say this is like a Warp Core containment.
A Geordie roll.
Yes.
Cheers,
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Mazel.
It's definitely missing the Cointreau. I forgot the Cointreau. But the strawberry is nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like how the strawberry comes in at the end, because I was like, I know there's a lot of strawberberry in here. Where is... Oh, there it is.
There's a pitcher full of this for anyone who wants.
It is quite rummy.
There's a lot. I think you each pretty much have 4.5 ounces of rum. Well, I'm not in the full pour, though. This isn't a full pour. So, you have a few ounces of rum in your drink.
You don't know me.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it slow because my fat ass is a lightweight.
I mean, at this size, it's probably about your usual cocktail proof.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get. I barely drink, so.
Yay! This is great.
And also just, between that and,
This is very drinkable, though.
the piles of medication I'm on.
Oh, I mean, for
I'm
anyone...
even more of a lightweight.
For anyone curious, I should point out. Okay, so you've got light rum, dark rum, spiced rum. Thank you, Chris and Caitlin. There's cranberry concentrate, because it was easier to carry than a whole thing of cranberry juice. Guava juice. And some bastard took all of the cans of strawberry Jumex from the international aisle. So I have, thankfully, Ames and Jake have provided strawberries that we pureed.
I think what I'm getting the strongest is the guava.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of guava.
It is, the recipe does call for more guava. Maybe I should have toned it down because I didn't have the Cointreau in there, so there's no orange flavor.
No, I like it.
No need. I like the
Good.
guava.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Liz.
Well,
Thank
thank
Thanks,
you.
Liz.
Thanks for letting me mess up your kitchen.
No, please do. And I also was looking for an excuse to break out. We have these little Star Trek themed glass set.
They're lovely. Oh, sorry. What were we here for?
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds, Season 1.
Strange
Cheers.
Worlds.
The spin-off of the spin-off Discovery.
Oh, the cake. Oh, wait.
That too.
I mean, it's either a spin-off of a spin-off, or it is the much delayed pickup
Yeah.
of the
original
pilot.
pilot.
I like that theory better.
In which case,
very
everything
funny.
else is a spin-off of this.
And I've gone cross-eyed.
Wait, would this really be a spin-off of a spin-off, though? Is Discovery technically a spin-off?
Technically-
everything after TOS
Is a spin-off, yeah.
Oh, it just doesn't feel that way, because there's, so many of them.
Well, because it's
Yeah. It's a franchise.
It would depend on, how you would count installments in a franchise. Either they're sequels or they're spin-offs.
But yeah, technically speaking, by the definition of spin-off, everything is spun off of TOS.
Yeah, especially since I just talked about this with Carl and Karen on another podcast. but you have these series starting with some sort of handoff, at least in most of them, some sort of handoff from legacy characters, whether it's McCoy on TNG or Picard on DS9.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Though I'm now thinking about Enterprise, and I don't remember the first episode of Enterprise. And
I don't think they had.
They
Oh
couldn't.
no, they had
Zephyr
Zephyr Cochrane.
Oh, of
Was in the-
course.
was in the
See,
first
there
that's
we
a
go.
good one.
Yeah.
Did Discovery
Voyager?
have any?
No,
Yeah.
they didn't.
Voyager did. Voyager had Quark.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think
Oh,
Discovery.
you mean Discovery? Yeah.
Discovery could have had like T'Pol maybe because she theoretically could have still
Or
been alive.
Spock. They could have had Spock in the pilot. Like they waited a couple episodes before they dragged that one out.
Well, but if it was a handoff from an existing actor, like as
Oh, from an
opposed to-
existing actor, not a
Yeah.
character. I see.
Mm.
That's true. Yeah, they could have done like an old T'Pol,
Yeah,
because they already had the old age makeup for Jolene Blaylock. So
yeah.
So speaking of Discovery, so the first thing I want to ask, just jumping into Strange New Worlds, because I saw someone ask on shit posting at the very beginning when this first premiered, how much do I have to have remembered or even have watched any of Discovery to be able to jump in without knowing the context?
I would say none.
Yeah, pretty much
I
no.
think I think it helps provide some context because so much of this season is sort of Pike internally dealing with the revelation of his impending face melting.
Yeah, but I mean,
True.
they explain it. Like,
They
if you
do,
want to know
they
the
do.
full story of how, like, but overall, like, they make it plain pretty quick. He knows he winds up in BB chair.
Yes.
Yes,
Though
I
he-
think they
There's
do
a
a...
pee chair.
Wow.
What did you think I said?
Pee.
Oh,
No,
pee-pee
it's
chair.
probably also
There's definitely a
baby
catheter
chair.
involved.
I mean,
There
there's
is.
gotta be for sure.
Oh no.
Yeah,
It's
and
collected in the thigh pads.
I think they do a good job of establishing that without having to, like, re-explain everything that happened in Discovery for the, what is Pike referring to when he talks about how I know I only got, like, 10 or 15 years to live or 7 years to live. I think they established that easily. It's, like, a couple little references that I'm like, oh, right, Discovery. When, I think it's in the first episode where a bunch of people who've just got first contact and blown it badly. And they're like, why do they have warp? Why would they possibly have warp? It's like, oh, because they saw the big thing that happened in season 2 of Discovery.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm staring at it like, I don't remember any of this. Damn it.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I feel like that's something if you really hadn't seen it at all, just been like, all right, I guess a thing happened near there. Fair enough.
We did that. Like it's. I think those things. I think in terms of like, do you need to watch it in order to understand the first episode? I'm going to say no, mainly because I got to introduce both my sister and my father to Strange New Worlds last weekend.
And they hadn't seen Discovery?
They had not seen Discovery. They had not, they knew,
How much of
classic
the
Trek.
cage?
The cage, absolutely. TOS is sacred in our household. TNG, absolutely. Bit of Deep Space Nine. Voyager, my dad and I used to watch every Wednesday night as it aired over a late dinner. So we got a grounding in the classic stuff for sure, in common for everybody. And I was like, you're gonna like this. I'm gonna put it on. This is about Captain Pike. And my dad was like, okay, I remember who that is. Cool.
Yeah.
And we started up. And he was ready to jump in. I think I offered some helpful comments here and there. Like, this happened in season 2, but he was just sort of like,
When
all right.
Spock, yikes.
Wow.
When Spock refers to, oh yeah, blah blah, my sister, blah blah, it's like, Discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I will say, should you, it depends on how much you want to get a look at Anson Mount's ass in the blue uniform pants. Because I do feel like you get a better look at his tuchus in that than you do in his black trousers.
So glad you reminded me of that. You are correct.
His uniform is better in general in Discovery.
We're gonna talk uniforms later.
Oh.
No, I know. I just wanted to bring up Anson Mount's ass.
Oh,
yes,
good.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank
as
you
well
for
you
that.
do.
That was an important point. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is more absurd though? Anson Mount's Pike's Peak or Spock's ever-growing sideburns?
Those sideburns, what is
He's
happening?
eventually going to turn
They're
to a
very
chin
silly.
strap.
Oh my god, seriously.
Spock's not Puerto Rican.
I could see
I
him
mean,
pulling that
we
off.
all we know is he's half human. We don't know. Maybe he is.
That's true. Amanda could totally. I mean, you're right.
We don't know.
Oh man, we totally claim him. That's fine.
Yeah, they've really
Could
taken...
explain actually. Sorry, the complicated sibling relationships. It's like you have another sister. Yeah, I got it's. It's a different. Don't worry about it. Big family. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it's like they took the 60s pointy sideburns and were like, we're gonna go fucking crazy with these for Spock.
But why?
Those
I don't
sideburns
know.
are going serpentine.
They really are. They're starting to wiggle.
They look like little sperm tails on his face.
No.
Gross.
So yeah, those are more absurd. Because really, Pike's hair, there's only the one episode.
Oh no, Caitlin broke.
There's really only the one episode where they really overdo the height of Pike's hair.
And I love it.
It's reasonable enough in the rest of them.
I mean, I love the ridiculousness of it because, I mean, considering this is, like, it's still, like, this is a show that is marrying, 21st century, TV show with elements of the 60s, that's trying to carry over from the original. And there's something about like having the dude with the elaborate hair this time around that I'm enjoying.
Yeah, I'm saying his hair's still not as tall as most of the wigs they put on Whitney back in TOS. What's her first name?
Grace Lee.
Thank you, Grace Lee.
Yeah. I don't know. I do find the hair a little distracting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that one where it's like really tall, and the others it's normal.
When it goes in a little swoop, you know how I like the swoops. We talked about this whenever we talked about Paris's predecessor, Locarno.
Yeah.
The great swoop. When it's going straight up and there's like no waver at the end, I think it detracts.
I think, the whole package is distracting for me, so
Anything,
it's just a drop in the bucket.
Anything's better than the down the middle curl bullshit from the Elysian Kingdom.
See, I didn't mind it. I liked that.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm sorry. That haircut, you just immediately look like a 1920s robber baron, and you should be talking like this while you tie a gal to train tracks. Ha ha ha! Doesn't he do right?
It should come with a pencil mustache. Yeah. I mean, honestly, when I saw that hairstyle, I was like, oh, that's why they were growing it out in the other, like in the big episode.
Seriously,
Why not give him a wig? They give everybody wigs.
Because he's got such luscious hair on his own.
That was like,
can we know though? It could be a wig. We don't know.
No, because I've seen photos of him. That seems to just be his hair. But yeah, that's the one episode where they were like, can we make Anson Mount unfuckable?
And they failed.
No, they managed.
No,
that
disagree.
That hair
Disagree.
is just no.
It's okay. Once I throw my hands into it, it will look.
Muss it up very quickly.
Yeah.
Step one, muss that hair. Problem is, getting him out of that like medieval clothing is just going to take so long.
Once he got a sword, doesn't he?
You just like initiative.
I did appreciate though, and I don't know, it was probably on purpose, that his weird medieval outfit was in Captain's wrap shirt, green and gold.
Oh, I didn't even
notice that. Nice.
Yeah, and his little like hand of the king badge was just the star from his badge upside down.
Yes.
Clever. That's very clever.
Yeah.
That was nice. I did like that.
Like the costuming that episode, like if they're not just going for Emmy bait, like then I don't know why they did that.
It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, the moment seeing Mbenga in African style, like King's clothes, was just the most awesome thing ever.
Oh, and I think Mbenga is my favorite character so far. And I can't even really point to why. It's just like whenever he does something on screen, I'm like, oh yay, you did a thing.
I was really fond of Hammer.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks.
Oh, Hammer.
Yeah, two of them were my favorite, which is why I kind of, and this surprised me. Elysian Kingdom ended up being my favorite episode of this season, which I was not expecting.
Because it's so goofy.
It's not that it's goofy. It's that it's light and clever, and it works to the end. Yeah. Like, everything about that episode is funneling toward the end.
Which then rips your heart out.
Normally, fun episodes I don't like because they're random, kooky fun. See, what is it? The Serene Squall. Not my thing. I know a lot of people like it. Not my thing. Little zany, little caricature-y. But something like Elysian Kingdom, like, oh, there's a reason for all of this. It was hinted at in previous episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
That, the daughter was going to be an element somehow, and this story was an element. And
did you see who wrote the story?
I did. That was cute too.
Who was it?
What's his name? Benny
Russell.
Oh, that's right.
It's Benny Russell. Interesting.
Doesn't seem his usual style.
But
Cisco's character in
Far Beyond the Stars.
But wait. Time out.
Whoa,
Benny Russell isn't a real thing. Benny Russell was a hallucination created by the
Was
Power
he?
Rangers. I mean,
Was he?
I don't know.
Look, there's only so many names. Maybe it's a different Benny Russell.
It's possible, but I mean, the fact that Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, it also wouldn't be his genre to write, but like,
Well, you never know. He got a little older, had a kid, was like, I want to write something my 5-year-old can read.
And it very like notably has the regal figures, leader figures involved are both black.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, I mean, I'm a little not quite sure if that passes the canon test.
Oh, very like I like how they ignore some of the canon for this episode, and I gave up on it and was like, you know what? Sure,
Fine.
Spock and T'Pring. This is a better story than Amok Time anyway.
So let's get this out of the way.
Do it.
There's a few,
wait,
things I want to bitch about.
Before we do that, because I wanted to still remark on Elysian Kingdom since we're there. We've clearly entered some sort of mirror universe, because I hated Elysian Kingdom.
I was so excited that I was going to be able to say, finally, a fun episode I can like with Chris.
Nope.
And no.
Nope.
Dang it.
It was too goofy for me.
That's shocking, because you love, like, this was very Armand Bashir, which is one of your favorite fucking things.
Love that one.
And Mirror Universe, which you're usually into.
Mm-hmm. It was just, I don't know, there was something, it was just...
I was so bummed when you hated it.
It was too goofy, and I wasn't yet invested enough in the Mbenga and his daughter storyline for it to be done. So I was like, wait, what? We're done?
That's a good point.
We're done?
I wasn't expecting them to wrap it this season. I thought it was going to be a whole series-long arc.
So
wow.
I was just, I mean, again, credit, I don't know anyone's real name except Anson Mount, but, well, I know if you... Anyway, but Mbenga... Babs something.
Babs Olusen-Mokun.
Thank you.
Olusen-Mokun.
Like, he did well in the scene, but I was just like, oh, I am not attached enough to this character yet to really care. So, unfortunately, even the moment that maybe would have been like, oh, I was just like, this has been dumb, Hammer's having fun, and that's nice, but otherwise, and we're wrapping this up, okay, what the fuck just happened?
No, see, I cried, and it was lovely. I don't think she should have come back in the final scene.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why she could.
Well, what was funny was Caitlin goes, after she vanished and before she reappeared, like, yeah, and it turns out this is how that alien gets its prey. It's like, yeah, it's the fucking Janeway's dad monster. Then she pops back.
I was like, oh, I guess not.
I know I saw like a comment exchange on ship posting somewhere about specific, like that was definitely a debate about whether or not people liked her coming back.
Did people like it? Because I thought
people. I mean, I've seen the comments have definitely been mixed about it too.
Okay, interesting.
But some of the point that I think that I thought was pretty good, that made me okay with it, was that it sort of it just settles the matter on the spot. Like you're not having it there.
But then we can come back and visit.
Well, I guess that would be the question of if they wanted that to hang over the character.
I do.
To have to keep coming back of him like wondering whether or not he made the right decision.
Mm.
Yeah, I imagine we won't have seen the last of that character.
Okay.
I feel like it's left deliberately open to.
Yeah.
Until they say otherwise, I have decided, especially since clearly time doesn't matter to them, they are Trelane's parents.
Okay.
That's valid.
Yeah, I think the one thing I did see someone comment on shitposting that actually made me okay, this is actually quite lovely, is someone who said, as a parent who did lose a child, watching this episode actually gave me closure.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's incredibly sweet then.
Yeah. I saw a couple of comments along those lines too. Yeah, that made sense.
Yeah. But Jake wanted to say something about.
Yeah. Oh, it's not really a rant.
or something.
No, I mean it's so. I'm not a stickler for canon usually. I can take it or leave it. But I actually didn't really care for Spock T'Pring. I think that's probably one of the weaker elements of this.
This is a Spock who fucks.
Yeah, I mean, I get it's Spock who fucks, but I don't know. I just and again, this is a canon complaint, so I'm sorry for the pedantry, but it's really not suggested in Amok Time that T'Pring and Spock had any prior relationship.
Doesn't he? I feel like he specifically says he hasn't seen her since they were kids.
Yeah, and the implication, it's even said, I think, in that episode that it was an arrangement. It was, their parents got together and,
the last photo he had was of her. It was like a 7-year-old.
She was like, child. It's like, if that's the photo that he has of T'Pring, is that the photo that he carries in his wallet now? That's fucking weird, Spock.
It also really, recontextualizes Chapel saying, who is she, Mr. Spock?
Oh, that was Uhura who said it.
Oh, it is?
I believe it was Uhura said, she's lovely. Who is that?
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, because why would Chapel be on the bridge?
Yeah,
I
Chapel.
think
remember,
she is in that scene though, because I feel like
Chapel walks onto the bridge,
Oh, yeah.
does a, oh, he's getting married.
Yeah, so
and
either
like
way,
runs
like-
away.
I
And
think
she
you're
gets
right.
and she gets.
Oh, okay, that's why I misremembered Chapel as having said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like she gets this soup thrown at her, and
Yeah.
it's just not a good day for Chapel.
It is not.
No.
But yeah, and like I think, the body swap episode,
That one
I
was
went back
tickled
and
my
forth, and I think
fancy.
in the end I liked it.
Really,
And I didn't expect to like it, and I still...
Neither
there's
did
some parts
I.
of it where I'm watching, I'm like, I don't like that I like this, but I like it.
I think I appreciate that, unlike a lot of like weird body swap stuff, the characters came out and said, "Here's what happened,"
That was good.
so
Yeah,
that everyone else could be like, "All right, we all have to deal with this now."
Because it's logical.
And that and the Pike reaction afterward was
Yeah.
so like, it was like, this is like hints of like TOS Kirk.
Yeah.
Of just like, so you can see the difference in our mannerisms, and you're just like, oh yeah, totally. So that look like, oh, I can hear the 60s hijinks flute right now.
that's true.
60s hijinks flute.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that making Spock fuck is fine.
Mm.
I think making Spock fuck to Pring, a little on the nose,
Little.
they could have just made it another person.
I think
What happened to Leilani? Where's she?
Yeah.
I think their main thing was just to
Layla?
finally
Layla.
shut people up and be like, yes, they fuck outside of Ponfar.
Yes.
Stop talking about
But
it.
then why does Ponfar happen?
To make sure you definitely fuck.
I think that might be like when you're fertile or something.
Yeah, like specifically reproductive drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But
So like Ponfar is like, I'm ovulating. We do this. You come back to the nest.
T'Pring is in heat.
it's also tied into like just purging some of those old, pre-Sarakian
Yeah, you got
madnesses.
You got to blow off steam every 7 years.
Yeah,
or else you'll literally explode.
Yeah, it's as much about an emotional venting as anything else.
Yeah. See, in this episode, in the what is it called? Spock Amok? Yeah. Specifically, the whole Spock to Pring goes against canon and all this stuff. And it took me like a day to be like, you know what? The whole arranged marriage thing was gross anyway, so I'd rather them just say that didn't happen and fuck that canon because that was a bad idea.
But are they though? I don't know. Like, are they straight up just discarding Amok Time as a thing?
Well, no, because that fucker Ston is already in the background of that.
So
Right.
Ston's they're already sniffing around. So
I mean, they might be just sort of like bending it because maybe it's still their betrothal like was arranged, but that they still decided they liked each other after all and went through the formality of proposing.
Wanted
Yeah.
to kick the tires before they got married.
Yeah, like I don't think we have to exclude the possibility of that there was still sort of a betrothal because that just feels like the Vulcan thing.
I mean, because even real life arranged marriages,
Yeah.
through my limited understanding of them, like they'll still like we've picked this person out for you, and then you sit and get to know them, and they, for the most part, in like outside of really controlling societies, they can still say no.
Yeah.
Well, I worked
it's
with a
still
guy
arranged.
many years ago who was from India and had an arranged marriage, and he had to fly back. He was young, he's like in his 20s.
He went through Ponfar.
He went through Ponfar.
Yes.
No, he had to fly to India to both meet and marry his wife, and then he came back to the States without her. Like, she just stayed in India.
Oh wow!
I don't know what happened later, but like they did not have a relationship. They were just acquaintances, I guess.
I mean, I say as a very big fan of TOS, ignore all the canon you want from that.
Yeah.
Not everything, but like little things like
Oh yeah, like it's silly to go too hog wild on TOS canon.
Yeah.
And like really, canon is not the main reason I don't like it. I just don't like it. I just don't like
No,
it.
no, that's
I don't
fair.
like the relationship. I don't like
I got the sense that's what it was.
silliness.
I just think in general, since it has come up, there's plenty of evidence that even Gene Roddenberry was kind of like sort of considered the motion picture a soft reboot.
Well,
And like, if I want to disregard stuff, I'm gonna.
yeah, and I feel like even TNG was kind of
Oh, yeah.
initially looked at as a reboot, and like you didn't have to worry too much about
Yeah,
TOS
like
canon.
Like, there's stuff, there's certain things that, like, if you broke it might be like, it's maybe a bit far. But little things.
Having said that, I think that biographical character facts. Like, there's one thing like breaking canon being like, well, the warp drive technically should not be able to achieve warp 6.2 at this time period because of the... But I feel like character biographical stuff is a little different.
Well, we already threw in a sister we didn't know about.
Yeah, but
That's fine.
that was not uncommon for Spock.
No,
Yeah, that man
for
never...
Spock, it made perfect
Like,
sense.
Spock
because
didn't tell people
parents,
his mother was human.
that his parents were ambassadors to Vulcan.
Well, yeah, it's like, he didn't... Oh, by the way, the ambassador to Vulcan, who you're about to meet in 2 minutes, that's my dad.
My half-brother's
Like,
sidebar.
he waits until... Oh, do you want to go see your parents? Oh, that's them.
Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm half human, and that's my mom. What? Oh,
Yeah.
and I have a stepbrother.
That I'm never
Yeah.
going to mention until, again, he has captured us.
My dad's got a
Or not
bad
separate,
case
half
of the
brother.
old Terran fever, if you know what I mean.
And have you counted my eyelids yet? No?
Yeah, like so Spock withholding specific information.
That's so
is fine, but like, okay, biographical, like Christine Chapel, right? Like, I feel like her backstory was very well established in What Are Little Girls Made Of, and I feel like
that.
I don't remember it at all.
So her whole reason for being on the Enterprise was that she was trying to find her fiance
Tracy?
Corby?
Corby, who was lost in space, and it turned out that he was out doing making robots.
Yeah, that's the one thing people brought up a lot. That's just like, oh, yeah.
So, like, her being on the Enterprise at this time does kind of rewrite that whole idea, because as far as I know, I mean, maybe Corby will come up. I mean,
I was going to say, maybe we'll meet him at some point,
maybe
and then
Corby
he'll
will be
disappear,
the
and that will
thing.
be why she's still on the Enterprise.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of these reasons, like, I think the things that I've been okay with in terms of breaking canon so far have been things that benefit the female characters in particular.
Oh, hard yes.
Because, like, you know,
Give Uhura some lines.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
There's an idea.
Yeah, she's already spoken more in this series than she spoke in all of Nichelle Nichols' time on the show ever.
Yeah.
Including the movies. Yeah.
Yep.
And if, you know, Chapel's history is getting rewritten, you know, so that she's not just
Chasing
on
a
the Enterprise
man.
for a man, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, especially since, like, this is something I think I mentioned before, like, last time I got together with you guys, or maybe some other time we were talking, where, like, once we started, when the show was just starting out, and you had this, like, cast full of legacy characters, I'm like, are you gonna earn this? Because
The show
this
being
is a
Strange
lot.
New Worlds?
Yeah, Strange New Worlds.
Oh.
So,
you didn't
like,
tell me this.
because you had, you know, I mentioned to someone else then, Uhura and Chapel.
And number one.
Manga, number one and Pike, okay, like, you
Yeah,
know,
we had
they need
one
to be on there.
episode each of those two,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, and those are the ones who are already baked into this cast. They don't count
Pike
as in the
and
same
Spock.
way. And Spock, sure, like those are the ones like that's a given. So then they were like, let's add Uhura, let's add Chapel, let's bring in Mbenga, let's bring in a Noonien Singh for some reason.
Yeah,
Robert
that was
April.
the other one I was gonna.
Oh,
That's
Robert
so
April.
weird.
So like Robert April, I'm like, all right, cool. That's kind of cameo-esque. Mbenga is kind of cool because they're taking a character who did appear in the previous show, who could have gotten more screen time. Like, and, let's give more screen time to an African character and actually have him played by an African actor. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was just listening to, hearing his accent, I'm like, this is, thank God, okay. But I was like, yeah, I need this to be earned. And, like, I was watching Chapel for the first several episodes, I'm like, I'm still not seeing, she could be a character with literally any other name. But somehow eventually, like, Uhura was the first one to win me over. Because I feel like there is something of, like, this, like quiet but still outgoing charisma that she's carrying over from Nichelle Nichols' role.
Yeah.
Nichelle Nichols' performance. Chapel felt completely different. And then at the same time, you know, I was thinking, like, but what am I clinging to with the original Chapel? She's very much, like, just pining 60s woman in a lot of ways. Though not necessarily always.
Someone for McCoy to talk to.
Yeah.
Or
like,
to talk at.
Someone
like
should
her-
have a crush on Spock.
her best moments are when she's bantering with McCoy. Like, and that's Majel Barrett, you know, coming through.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, like, I feel like over the season, what I've accepted is that I feel like with Chapel, there's something that's kind of breaking for her. Like, she's getting a little bit broken in a way that isn't just making her, not necessarily like it's kind of carving a path to the chapel we meet with Majel Barrett, but not making her just a fucking sexy lamp like every other 60s woman. And I think it's the same with T'Pring, is why I accepted her so quickly, because she's taking on a character who was just a sexy lamp in the original episode.
And a jerk.
Yeah,
she was there to look
bitch.
pretty. And
She's
then, like,
kind of an asshole in this too, though. She's got like
she's
big
Vulcan-y in this.
She's
Yeah.
got but to me, she's got like big talking her boyfriend into committing suicide vibes. Like she's
Ooh.
really shitty
Wow, I
to
wouldn't quite go that
Spock
far.
all the time.
I didn't get
I
that.
feel like the vibe I definitely get from her along those lines is like that kind of high maintenance controlling girlfriend stereotype.
But again, to me, I just like Jake said, that's Vulcans.
Yeah,
Vulcans suck.
Yeah, and I think that's what
Vulcans
works for me.
are assholes.
But she negs him like every chance she gets to bring up like how human he is and how fucked up that is, and
That's
ew,
true.
you're so human about this and that. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, bitch.
No,
I don't
Vulcans
think it's
are
necessarily always negative though. 'cause,
Vulcans
like,
are racist.
I feel like it was once positive.
I think what
Maybe.
could have worked, what could have made T'Pring work, was if yes, she did do that an awful lot. I wish that the betrothal had been brought up. That like maybe she was only with him out of obligation, and
Dude.
that's why she treats him like shit.
100%. That makes you wonder, though, like, how shitty her family has to be if she marries the, like, half-human son of, like, some big shot
Well, yeah,
Vulcan.
but he's a big shot, so that big shot maybe like offsets the half human.
I don't
bit.
know.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not the way everybody else treats Spock for being
Well,
half-human.
yeah. Well, maybe that's, or maybe like. Maybe her family just didn't care for her, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll set her up with the half human."
I like they gave her a job, and a fairly interesting
Yeah, it's
one
a
at
cool
that.
job.
Yeah, it does sound like a
She
cool job.
seems terrible at it.
She does seem pretty bad.
Well, would you expect any Vulcan to be good at bringing people back to,
Also,
like...
what a whole fucking weird layer of shit, right? Is that like okay, she's like a rehabilitation expert who is engaged to Spock, but she's treating Spock's half brother.
But does she know that's who he is?
Yeah, because
he's going by a different name.
Yeah, he's going by a different, and like even Spock would be like, "Oh my wow, fuck, it's Cybok," which like
Yeah, but he had to deduce that.
yes,
yeah, and that's
what I
probably
mean.
only because he knows how Cybok-y he is.
That'll be God.
So-
I hope they don't fuck up Cybok.
I mean,
I don't know yet. It's going to be silly.
It'll be hard to fuck up Cybok.
Well, here's the thing. Like, Star Trek V is not a good movie, but Lawrence Luckenbill is so much better than that trash film deserves. Now, admittedly, they could totally make him whatever they want and say this is pre his like conversion.
Well, I think
But
the point
it-
is he's already in Vulcan jail for being
Weird, but
un-Vulcan.
we don't know what's un-Vulcan about him exactly. Like, I like the fact that Cybok isn't just like a mustache twirling 2-dimensional like weirdo. He's played with a bit more subtlety. Like, my favorite example that I always go to is, when Kirk tells him he's mad and he goes, "Am I?" But not in like a "ha-ha, am I?" way. Like, there's a moment of vulnerability, and like there is a part of him that does maybe kind of doubt his own belief a little. Like, the fact that there was nuance to that character, I feel like could be lost if they just make
The thing
him...
about Cybok is, I think Cybok is not a bad guy.
No, exactly.
Like, he's not a villain. He does bad things, like stealing the ship, but he does it out of a legitimate conviction.
Yeah, and I don't want to see, like, just goofy bad guy Cybok.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Again, they can totally get away with it being like, well, yeah, it's before he found God or whatever. But I would love to see aspects of that Cybok already there, even if they make him more traditionally a bad guy.
I would hope that he's already obsessed with the god of Shakari.
Me too. I prefer
and,
that.
Like, that's his, and he's just like looking for it. He doesn't know where it is.
Yeah, but I don't know. But that's the future.
Yeah. So that's one. So the Noonien Singh.
Why? Why? It came up once, and I was like, "Oh,
did it
yeah."
even come up once, other than like being mentioned?
No, it came up when it's revealed that Una is a Illyrian.
Yes.
That sounds right.
Illyrian, yes.
And the two of them have the two of them have a great little rapport. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Una and La'an, and La'an basically throws it in her face like, "I've gotten bullied and harassed and looked down upon for my ancestors being augments. Meanwhile, you're an augment right here, and I'm supposed to throw it under the fucking rug. God damn it.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little scene, but otherwise it's like, it's almost, it could have been anybody that could have had that background.
It would have been interesting for it to have been someone, a descendant. If you still wanted to go this route, you could have done a descendant from anyone else from the Eugenics Wars.
But see,
there were multiple overlords fighting for power.
This way, even this series has a tangential connection to Brent Spiner.
What?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is like, you know, for season 2 predictions,
what's the
which
soon
will we meet in the
because they
you haven't seen Enterprise yet, so
they've already
Project Khan, remember from Picard?
Season 2.
Oh, okay.
The Soongs have a hand in the creation of the augments.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So again, we have now connected back to Brent Spiner.
They don't have to have such similar names.
Yeah. So how long before Brent Spiner weasels his way in?
Okay, you guys have to stop having conversations at the same time.
Yeah, it's God. I hope they don't. Please don't. Don't have him show up as yet another Soong. Blow everyone's mind. Have a Soong show up that isn't played by Brent Spiner.
Well, they already did.
Yeah, Data's mother.
Sort of. Have Brent show up as somebody else for a change.
Look, I like Brent Spiner, but I'm sick of looking at him.
He could play like
lies.
He could play Owe-Yoon of Vorta.
Oh
no! For fuck's sake!
What? You made him drunk. He's drunk. I think.
Nice. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that said, though, I do like Lan as a character.
Oh yeah.
I like all the characters. I think they're all very well established.
It felt unnecessary to make her, you know, a descendant of Khan.
She's already got enough in her background with this Gorn fight that I think that's so interesting about her, that she was captured by Gorns, which have turned into an excellent villain race in this show.
I like most of it. I'm a little unsure about making them xenomorphs.
That was an
episode. But that episode, just like straight up being aliens, was a little like.
But that's the great Star Trek tradition.
Occasionally, you just do another movie with a Star Trek veneer.
Like I don't even mind like infected with Gorn eggs, but the fact that they do literally burst out like a xenomorph, I'm like, come on.
And like that one even had what's her name? The little girl. I can't remember the little girl's name from Aliens.
Yeah, Nike or whatever. No.
Oh my god.
Shark bait?
Wait,
I don't know. She dies off screen in the following movie.
Oh, Lex is gonna mock me. I know this.
It's a name that's not a typical little girl.
No,
name,
I know.
And that's why.
No, not the actress.
Phyllis.
Newt.
That's it. It's like some kind of animal.
So they even had Newt.
I didn't like Newt.
They never did much with. I expected her to be full of eggs too, and that just kind of went nowhere.
Yeah.
See, that would have been cool if she was full of eggs and burst.
I mean, they already killed a kid this season. Like, if they did 2, people might have been upset.
They killed 2 kids.
What? No. She lived to death.
That's true.
She lived to death.
They pulled a Stephen Moffat.
Who, the daughter?
Yeah.
Rukia.
But, they did totally plug boy face into the death thing.
Oh my god, it made us watch every moment.
Yeah, that was fucking horrifying.
That episode.
Bastards.
I loved it.
But, it was a good episode, but they're awful people.
That's like one of the times, Chris, when you've often remarked, like, don't do business with these people. Like, do not involve, the Federation should not be involved with these assholes.
Nope.
And they did. They were like, fuck you, we're peacing out on that.
Yeah, seriously. Like, look, I know you can't interfere with their culture, but you can you can tell them, fuck you. Like, damn.
Like, if the Illyrians couldn't join the Federation because of augmentation in their history, these motherfuckers should absolutely not be allowed.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think they refused, didn't they?
Who?
Yeah, I think they had.
The child murdering people.
Yeah, because they would have had to have told them about the murder.
Yeah. But, oh god. I like how human they're making Pike.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, just whether it's, like, little goofy moments. I mean, the moment he, like, stammered giddily with what's-her-name from Child Murdering Planet. I keep wanting to say Omelas because everyone keeps making comparisons to that story.
Le Guin.
Yeah. Just instead of him going full Shatner or anything, just be like, hello, I'm charming. he was just sort of, I'm sorry, hey, I'm a captain. And just kept that energy throughout. Like, and not just in that episode, but in general, like, just those little goofy moments with Pike. Or not even goofy, like, there was the tension of Uhura and Hemmer possibly getting killed back where they were. And him just, like, calling them on the comms and waiting for some sort of response from them and not getting anything. And as soon as someone responds, he just sort of, like, doubles over on himself.
It was great.
It was such a good moment.
First home chef captain since Cisco.
Oh my god.
I don't know, Riker makes a mean pizza.
I've already made hearty comments about Pike. I don't need to comment on his cooking. I'm seeing him cook. It's a lot.
Yeah, here's what I'll say about Pike, because I think I very highly enjoyed this season so far, or this season, and now it's over, and there'll be more that I'm looking forward to in the future. And I think the highest praise that I've given the season and the writing of the season is I trust the show to handle Pike's future.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we know where it's going, and I know they're going to handle it in a very interesting way because of what I've seen them do so far.
I appreciate that they did very firmly establish with the finale, like, no, we're not creating a new timeline or something.
Yeah.
BP chair is still happening.
Okay, here's a question on the finale, because I'm glad you bring this up, because I'm struggling with what I think of what they did. In that, what we had seen so far was Pike sees his future, he knows he saved a bunch of children from this thing, and his fate is wheelie chair. And he's been grappling with that, but mostly accepting it, but then maybe there's another way, and all this thing. And this episode says, nope, the easy answer is you must do it, or else the whole galaxy will be genocided by Romulans, and Spock will die specifically. And here's 8,000 reasons for you to definitely do it, instead of having this conflict anymore.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunately a function of meta-narrative more than narrative. Like, just more to be like, no, stop thinking about it, we're not changing it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't necessarily work as well in-universe, and I could see that as a weakness. I'm also not sure how I feel about the fact that, like, kind of the whole point of the episode is, yeah, you know how Pike's, like, really thoughtful and diplomatic and this and that? Yeah, that fails. He should have just killed. I'm like, oh, that's a weird message.
I mean, like, I feel like it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Like there are times where what he's doing is, you know, it clearly is the right plan and and could work out. And then there's Kirk's approach. I mean, like, clearly, you know, worked out the way Kirk did it in the original series. But I think there are moments of back and forth, and I think then there's the wild card of the second in command on the Romulan side.
Yeah.
But I think they like, because at first I was watching, I'm like, are they just showing that he just wasn't up to the job here? But I think it's just showing that, like, with, you know, there are variables in here that are arguably working against him that wouldn't have worked against Kirk.
He was not the right man for this job.
It's not that he wasn't sufficient for this job, but he just wasn't in the right place at the right time for this.
Yeah. I will say, I am somewhat disappointed that the Romulan commander was not played by the guy that plays Sarek in Discovery.
That would have been...
It does feel like a missed trick.
You know, one thing I thought was kind of weird is that they did the Romulan bumpy forehead.
Yeah.
They did.
And yet but with the bumpy forehead, they don't really look Vulcan. So why were people still like, Mr.
Well, they got the ears and the eyebrows.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of aliens with hair and
the view
eyebrows.
screen isn't high def.
But
Yes,
the bumpy forehead, I wish they didn't.
Well, it's weird
do
though,
the
because
bumpy
it's even different from how it was in TNG.
Yeah.
It's some weird hybrid.
Is it close to what they have in Picard?
Well, so in Picard, they just say some people have the forehead, some don't.
Yeah,
I think that's become the official canon.
Commodore O.
Yeah,
didn't have it at all.
But they've also just show other Romulans who don't, because they could say, well, she was surgically altered to fit in.
Sure.
But they even, on that world from season 1, which is like a Romulan refugee planet, like, just some people have it, some don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's become, like, the official, like,
Yeah, just like
It
that's how we're
understands.
dealing with this.
Well, since they're so good at plastic surgery, maybe this particular people were obsessed with plastic surgery and got the bumps because they wanted to just fuck with all their whole body.
I will say, too,
You don't know.
one thing I noticed in the finale that they did a couple times, which I loved, was the TOS style highlight the eyes with
did that a
light
lot.
thing.
I heard mention of that. I somehow I didn't notice
I caught
that.
it like once or twice, but I was like, they are okay.
But as soon as once I realized what they were doing, and as soon as they're like, oh, we're getting a feed from the Romulan ship now, we can finally see what the Vulcans look like. I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing right now. Okay,
Yep.
And then the shot inside the Romulan ship, I was like,
See, I picked up on it in the wedding because that would have been Martine's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
at the beginning of
I
that
did
episode.
not.
that's where I was kind of like, oh wow, this is a lot like the wedding from what's it? I wonder. And then yep, that's what. Okay.
Balance of Terror.
But
Yeah,
like
thank
as
you.
soon as they showed that shot in the Romulan ship, I was in the middle of packing to come back home from family trip, and I just stopped everything. I looked at the screen and I literally said out loud, like, "You're gonna do the shot right. Do the eyebrow. Do the eyebrow." And Spock raised his eyebrow, and I just went, "Yes!"
Ish.
They
No,
also,
it wasn't as neat.
They also gave Uhura the big collar,
Yeah.
and they gave her really big hoop earrings.
Okay. Oh no, we're gonna talk uniforms later, so I won't talk.
Yeah,
about
uniforms are later. There is a slideshow. I got you some screen grabs.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I noticed the eye thing, because as I was getting screen grabs for our slideshow, which will
good, I'll be
be
able to see them.
for our blogtivity this week, you'll be able to see uniforms and the other stuff that we're covering today.
I did, speaking though of all that, I did read an article yesterday that did confirm that while there will be a new engineer next season, it's not going to be Scotty.
Although I was not a fan of the off-screen
voiceover?
Scotty. Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. It just seemed very.
Was it too
It
wanky?
was- yeah, there was a lot of.
Oh, that whole episode.
That whole episode was
just,
the wankiest wank ever, and I just
It straddled
I
the
didn't
line.
need
How
that extra little tug.
well do you think that episode holds up for people who haven't seen Balance of Terror?
That's a
Not
good
at
question.
all. Not at all.
Because I went and rewatched Balance of Terror after watching the finale, and it's very sweet that they use they pull lines from Balance of Terror.
Yeah.
It's very clever. We'll talk about uniforms later.
If you were not familiar with Balance of Terror,
You were lost.
there was nothing in that episode for you, and that's why I don't much care for that episode. I think it was a fun episode to do. You know, it's tomorrow's Enterprise, sort of a twist on that
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yesterday's Enterprise?
No, tomorrow's Enterprise, because in yesterday's Enterprise, it was an Enterprise from the
Oh,
past.
you're
This
making a
is
joke.
the
I
future.
get it.
Mhm.
I get the joke.
But it's the same thing, right? You know, it's here's how history plays out if this one little trick they don't want you to know about.
In that episode, who else was supremely underwhelmed by Kirk?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
He looked like Quentin Tarantino.
Oh no! Yeah, he
Wow.
had kind of a skinny neck. I think so much of it is so.
Got long
I spent
face.
the first
I don't
little
like him.
bit being like, I don't see any Shatner in this guy, and then I threw that out the window because you know what? Have your own interpretation of the character.
Yeah, we don't need
Don't
Shatner.
do a Shatner.
Do I see anything from you? Not really.
That's the thing. That's what these all need to be worth using these characters. And
Yeah, he could have been any guy. He just doing any captain. Like, I think with a Kirk, like, I think Sam, the brother, walks in and says, oh, Kirk is brash and like this and like this. And we're told and not shown that.
Well, we're
God
told.
damn it.
We're told. See, my thing was, you were told he's already Drift Kirk, but in some ways, he did feel like early TOS Kirk.
How?
He's a little snappier. He just seems a little more on end, a little grumpier, a little more ready to just blow shit up. Like, he didn't feel too different from some of the early Kirk stuff, where he was just a little more like
Here's
60s military guy.
Here's what I'm missing. Kirk should always be flirty with something, and it's usually the ship.
That's
And
it.
there was nothing flirty about this guy.
Well,
he
could
was
you
very,
flirt with-
very business.
Could you flirt with the Farragut?
Depends on
know.
if they loaded the sexy computer voice or not. But here's the thing. Kirk should not have been in this episode, because it would have played out exactly the same. He didn't really contribute much,
He brought them drones.
which didn't really help.
I did like his reasoning, though.
Have
Be-
Una do that. What was she doing? Oh, no,
She
she's
was in jail.
gone.
She was in jail.
Oh,
She's in
yeah.
space jail.
Dang it, Una.
She's in space
Love
jail,
you.
which I'm guessing aside. I'm gonna call it
She's gonna
now.
meet Cyborg.
Her being in jail is somehow how they're gonna work Spiner into the next season.
Oh, God. You're probably right.
Because they'll need a geneticist to testify or something, and they'll have to drag him out of his prison where, maximum security, and somehow he'll get released, and then he'll pull out a folder that says Project Data and Lore.
God damn it.
Now I'm just picturing him being taken out of jail looking like Sean Connery in The Rock.
Yeah, because Noonien Soong is probably alive at this time.
Would he be?
Because TNG is only like 80 years from now, and he was fucking ancient in TNG.
I don't think he wasn't in his hundreds, though.
He looked a lot older than McCoy.
TNG's 2360s.
And
this is the 2250s.
Okay, so it's like 100 years in the future. I bet he's alive.
110, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Star Trek. McCoy was 120 at the start of TNG.
That's
he
my
could be alive.
That's my.
But the thing is,
my
he
measuring
would be...
stick is that Soong in Brothers looks older than McCoy in Farpoint.
But even being generous, if Noonien Soong is alive at this point, he's young.
Oh yeah.
Also being fair, Bones destroyed his liver with lots and lots of liquor.
That's
and probably
true.
looks like shit.
Nah, they can just grow a new one in a lab now, though. It's fine. He's on his 12th.
No, you just take a pill. You just take a pill.
Yeah, that's right.
It helps
that's
with
right.
kidneys. So
that is in no way his original liver. Like, by the time we met him in TOS, he was on his third.
Anywho, that was an aside. But what I do want to say is that, I don't think Kirk needed to be in the finale. I think it diminished the impact of the finale, and it increased the fan service. Like, I still think you could have done that story and made it the story of, if you weren't here doing this, it would have been a different captain of the Enterprise, wink, who would have handled it differently.
And then just see how Pike handles it.
And then we just see how Pike handles it, and clearly it gets Spock killed.
Yeah.
And we all...
Well, not killed. It sounds like he got BB chaired.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think
if he
Pike
survives,
said-
he will never be the same.
Future Pike came back and said, Spock always dies.
Yeah,
he says he always ends up in the medibed.
Oh.
Medibay or
I missed that
medbay,
then.
whatever
Okay.
the phrase is.
Either way, he's
Biobed.
He's incapacitated. He's not doing his
He's
Spock.
missing a leg.
Not,
that was nasty.
Not
Yeah,
doing
it
his
was really
Spock
gross.
stuff. So I think that could have been done without Kirk. I think Kirk was a distraction in the episode.
See, I think Kirk was probably there as a more accessible element from previous series for people who have not seen or remembered Balance of Terror. It's like, I don't remember this episode, but hey, I know who Kirk is. So I can at least latch on to that and engage with that question, that part of the dilemma.
We didn't get enough Sam this season.
We got too much Sam because we got any Sam.
Sam?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, at first, I was like, this is ridiculous. But in his every appearance, he is like...
He's Guy from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah! Oh, my God, that's what it is!
That's
He's got the mustache!
He's absolutely Guy. Well, because in the Aliens episode, he's doing the same Guy thing the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like, how did he get into Starfleet? He's so bad at it.
And he's also in, like... I was like, are they going to make him the McCoy character who's kind of a prick to Spock? But then they didn't in Balance of Terror, where they made Lon the McCoy character who's kind of a... Oh, no, it wasn't Lon, it was Ortega.
I didn't like that. That didn't seem like her.
Yeah, it's
The only reason they did it is
because they didn't have McCoy.
No, it was because she was in the same position
Styles
as Styles was. That's literally the only reason they did
like
it.
physically.
Like,
Yeah,
that
I
was
didn't like it.
that was dumb.
Oh,
I
related
also
to
didn't
that.
like it. Didn't feel like her.
It didn't.
Related to that. So one thing I noticed in the season, or in like the characterization of Pike, he calls everybody by their first name all the time.
Yeah.
And they call him Captain, which, feels a little unfair to me, but what are you going to do? He just calls everyone their first names. I don't think he knows anybody's last name. He's just like, Erica, do this. Neota, do that. All this stuff.
I love the idea that he genuinely doesn't.
One moment where I thought, no, you can't call her by her first name. You gotta whip out Lieutenant Ortega's "Stop being racist to Spock." You can't say, Erica, don't be racist to Spock. Ortega's, shut your filthy mouth.
Well, it's like you said. The problem is he was like, fuck. What's
Don't
her
know
last
your name. Damn it.
I can't let anyone know.
Well, I mean, I feel like Kirk, it's been a very long time since I've seen Balance of Terror, but Kirk, really dressed people down about, there's no bigotry on this ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave your bigotry in your quarters.
Yeah, leave your bigotry in your quarters. Did Spike? Spike.
Oh my God, not again.
No, but this time I was trying to think Pike, not Spock. Spike. That's got to be the new Slash.
I was gonna say that's the Pike and Spock slash.
I'm
I
sure
thought
it
it
is.
was.
I'm sure there's already so much.
So much.
But yeah, did Spike come down hard on anybody for the bigotry?
Who
all?
wasn't he
Not
coming down
really,
hard
no.
on?
Yeah, so maybe that's the difference. Maybe it wasn't how he handled the
There it
Romulans.
is.
Maybe it's that he didn't condemn the racism hard enough.
He was like, what's the problem? I don't see. If he really wanted to put her in her place without using her last name, he should have middle named her.
Mm.
He definitely doesn't know her middle name.
You don't know.
He doesn't know her surname.
I'm just saying.
That's now my head.
If he
Right.
was like Erica Louisa, then she would've
because here's what it would have been. Like he would have done like the full name, and like there would have been a fucking Torres in there, just so people could be like, oh, there's a Torres.
Oh my god, you're right.
I like.
How many dicks were you whacking off
Oh!
There were a lot of
Klingon
Klingons
style.
in the room.
So
Yeah.
many dicks. I feel like you first looked to me and then to Liz for approval for that showmanship just then. And I mean, you always got my 2 thumbs up.
I'm
You
just
know-
sitting here thinking I contributed to that with the drinks.
Can
Mr.
always wank.
No,
at
he's
the-
like this no matter what.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Balancing a checkbook. Not in public.
balancing the checkbook of terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they even like dropped the word balance in this episode.
Did
Like,
they?
I feel like somebody
They might have.
mentioned.
Balance came up somewhere.
Yeah, someone said balance. I was like, ugh.
I did like, though, the refiguring of the terrible old Romulan uniforms into something a little classier.
Covering that later.
Oh, that's part of it? I
Yes,
thought it was just
it
going to be
is.
Starfleet stuff.
I got you a screen grab.
Instead, I will say, it's always impressive when someone plays an older version of themselves, like that isn't just, oh, I'm just going to talk like this. Like, I feel like
So,
older Pike, like it was subtle and it was just enough.
Full of
interestingly,
regret.
I read something, a quote from Anson Mount about that.
Man, might have been the article that I shared with you.
It was a different one,
Oh,
actually.
never mind.
Because I haven't read that yet.
Then it was an article someone else shared with me.
But yeah, he basically said, like, he had talked to older people. And we're like, so what do you feel like? And most of them were like, I mean, honestly, I still feel fine, except for the occasional, like,
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, so I wasn't going to play it that different.
I'm glad he put it in the work. That's great.
Because I was watching the whole time, I'm always like, because we've seen so many people in Star Trek, who get the age makeup and they play their old selves in some way,
Julian.
shape, or form. Yeah. And so I was watching old Pike as he walked around, and he just moved a little slower.
Yeah.
His motions were more deliberate, and he really differentiated the two characters that he was playing.
Yeah.
I really liked that. And
Same
also,
hair, though.
well,
Same
why
hair.
reinvent?
Beautiful.
If they
It's
really
already good.
wanted to fuck with fans, he should have been bald. They should
No.
have had old Pike come in and be like, "Do you see what happens if you don't go through with it? Do you see?"
You still have your hair in the BP chair, at least.
I still hear pee-pee chair.
Yeah, I did too. Is there like a speed suit in there?
Yeah, something that confused me.
Mhm.
How does older Spike?
Good.
I'm gonna
Good.
keep that.
You're doing this deliberately,
No,
man.
that was an accident.
No.
How does older Pike know that the alternate future is better?
Time
crystals.
crystal.
Yeah.
That's it, the Klingons told him.
Like if he's getting to this point where he has gone back and he's talking to his younger self with a time crystal in a little travel case, he's already gone through
Yeah,
shit.
he's got his earbuds. He's got his
crystals
time
cross
crystal.
between universes.
They can apparently do whatever you fucking
guess
need
so.
them to.
Yeah, I guess so. But
When did we first see time crystals? Did they make them up
Discovery.
for? Oh, so we did. We made them up for Discovery.
Yeah.
it's the thing that Pike used to.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I couldn't remember if that was a brand new thing for Discovery or
I'm
if we
pretty
brought up
sure.
this
Yeah.
particular wizardry at another
It is.
time.
Yeah, I mean, unless it was in the books.
It is pretty silly.
It's just a crystal that has a natural high amount of tachyons.
Was it from the
or
prophets?
whatever. Let's go with shore.
Where did it
Didn't
come
it
from?
work
Chronotimer.
differently in Discovery? Didn't it just show you your future in Discovery?
Well, that one did.
But this one lets you do a quantum leap
Apparently, yeah.
into yourself.
Well, it's like
That
Caitlin
was
said,
time
they're-
crystal. This is time crystal meth.
These perfect.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I don't care about most of the characters in this show.
Really?
I gotta be honest, though.
I love them.
Wow.
I think as if we're comparing it to like Discovery, right? I at least know the characters on this show. Whereas on Discovery,
Ortegas
I know
needs a little more than just cocky pilot.
She's apparently getting an episode next season.
yeah,
Okay.
All right.
cocky sassy pilot.
I like Ortegas.
I love
She's like one of the
Ortegas.
only ones I like. I hated Noonien Singh. Uhura's fine. Whatever. Mbenga, don't care. Una,
Whoa.
don't care.
Whoa.
Hemmer, loved. R.I.P. Thanks a lot, this fucking show. Pike, love, obviously. Spock is growing on me. Just like those sideburns are growing on me.
Sam
Yeah,
Kirk.
Kirk, don't care.
T'Pring.
Don't care at all. T'Pring, she's a nasty bitch.
Sam?
She just said.
Sam Kirk, don't care.
Oh, he said Kirk. I thought you meant James.
No, he's barely in it.
He's
I'm
not
not
even in
going
the
to
show.
comment on every single side character.
I know.
The girl Pike was fucking that kills children.
I just wanted to
actually
goof.
liked her a lot.
Okay, but-
She's checking both my boxes. Fucking Pike murdering children. Could they bring her back?
But here's the thing. So how many characters did you just name? Like
10?
I don't know.
several.
A bunch.
Yeah.
Name that many Discovery characters. Go.
Michael, Saru, Giorgio, Stamets, Wilson Cruz, whose name I can't think of right now. Adira, Gray. Hold on. I got more.
Mhm.
They're coming. Here they come.
I can.
Fuck, Book. Book was
Mhm.
there.
Well, yeah.
Could you have done this after
Zora?
season 1, though,
Zora?
is the question.
Is that the name of the ship? What's the
Yes.
ship called?
Yeah.
The
Fuck,
computer,
this
yeah.
stupid computer. Fucking hate that too. I'm not saying I like Discovery better.
Well, my point is that I feel like
Detmer. Oh,
Detmer, yeah, I can always know.
yeah, but nobody knows shit about them.
What about the,
Like, what's their backstory? Nobody knows.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I feel like on this show,
And the Gorn
I
that's
feel
there.
like
Isn't
Gorn.
there? Or the lizard dude. There's a
Oh,
lizard
Linus.
dude.
He's
Yeah,
not
sure.
a Gorn, but yes.
Well,
He doesn't have
in my
any-
mind, he's
yeah,
a Gorn.
but that's not a
Doesn't he
character.
lose
That's
his own
a
eyeballs or something,
punchline.
or is that another?
He sneezes on that shitty
Yeah.
blue shirt.
You can't. Not a character. That's a punchline.
So to answer your question, could I
love
have
that.
named this many characters at the end of season 1 of Discovery? No, but half of them didn't exist prior to the show, like they do in this other show.
I think
Because I already knew number 1, and Uhura, and Pike, and Spock, and Chapel.
fair. That's fair. I think the point I was more trying to make though is that
You didn't say Tilly.
the characters in this show
I didn't say Admiral Vance.
are characters. You know, like there's unlike Oo and Detmer and
Those cute guys who don't have names.
Reese and Bryce.
Thank you.
the
Apparently they had names.
woman that's played by the same actor that played the robot lady.
Oh, no one knows her
Who
name.
kn-
Mariam.
I know the robot lady. I
Oh.
can't remember the
I forgot
because the
about
human
Ash.
replacement is the same
I
actor.
forgot about Ash Tyler and hot Klingon.
Yeah.
Like
Voch.
we don't. This show feels much more ensemble-y
Mm.
than Discovery ever has.
Oh, I agree for sure. Because
Mm.
because Discovery's kind of like the Michael and sometimes Saru
Yeah,
show.
Michael saves the day and Saru learns a lesson.
Saru wants to know how to be a real boy.
Jake, it was during the first episode, Jake made an excellent comment, just that praising this episode, saying, "Do you know what I noticed?" And I don't know if you remember. if you
Oh,
said
yeah.
it. Okay, fill it in now. Do you know
Okay.
what I noticed?
You know what I noticed? Sometimes on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the camera stays still. Like there are actual moments of like tens of seconds where the camera is focused on a person speaking and it's not in motion.
Or zipping around.
I'm
or-
not joking. If you go and watch Discovery, or Picard, I think, for that matter, whatever cinematography school they've decided they're going to follow for those shows, their guiding principle is the camera never stops moving. And it's true. Every fucking scene, if there's a group scene of people talking, it's not a back and forth. I don't know what the cinema term
Yeah, there's
is
a word for that,
like
but
that
I-
over-the-shouldery talk.
yeah, back and forth, cutting between different angles. No, they literally just have the camera orbit the conversation.
Until
that's
you're
true.
dizzy, like you've been on some kind of carnival ride,
See,
vomiting in the trash cans.
I've never noticed before, but now I'm sure I won't unsee it.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
That's
I
the thing.
think about it.
Discovery and Picard, the camera is hardly ever standing still.
Picard is dead to me
Well, it's terrible.
for making fucking Rios the dumbest man in space.
Really dumb.
You weren't in love. You were in lust. You should have gone back to the future.
He might have been in love.
Bring your
was not in
girlfriend
love.
with you. Bring the girl with you and the kid.
No, not the kid. Fuck that
should
kid.
we have warned people about Picard spoilers?
I will in the
Okay.
episode
Nobody.
description.
No, you know
I
what?
haven't seen
Fuck
season
that.
2.
Don't warn them.
Fuck, sorry.
Oh,
Spoil
God.
them. Spoil them so that they don't watch it because nobody should watch it.
It's. I'm not gonna lie. It's middling at best. Season 2.
I've heard. But I
Oh,
still
no,
need to-
you haven't seen it yet?
Oh,
Sorry,
Oh,
I thought you
fuck
had.
me. All right,
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I missed you saying you hadn't
That's
seen
all
it.
right.
I didn't say that I liked it less than Discovery or less than Picard. I like this way better than Discovery or Picard, but I also liked TNG kind of more than TOS by the end, and it wasn't because I gave a shit about any of the characters.
no, that's fair.
Because I didn't.
But there was Data.
Yeah, I cared a little bit about Data.
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't think this is
How many inches of-
the best.
All
The
of the
best Star
functional
Trek
ones.
show I've seen. I might give it the best opening season.
Yeah.
It
Of a
is
Star-
only 10 episodes.
That's true.
If this
It's
was
hard-
stretched
yeah.
out, you might get
But
tired.
here's the thing: are there 10 episodes in any first season of Trek that are good?
Maybe T.
Other than
TOS.
Other than TOS.
Oh, God.
Since
Prodigy.
I bet Deep
Fucking
Space...
Prodigy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I bet I could find 10 good episodes of Deep Space Nine.
Season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Maybe.
absolutely.
But as good as these 10 episodes?
That's the thing. These,
On
I
on
feel
every
like
That's
overall
the
these
question.
are these. I still stand by that. I think this is probably the best first season
This
Trek
is
has
an
had
extremely strong season.
since TOS.
Although Prodigy's a good punt.
Prodigy isn't done with its first season yet.
That's
True.
true.
It could
remains to
crash
be
and
seen.
burn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like since like just the other day I rewatched The Emissary from DS9, and I think like compared to, especially when I compared to other season openers in past Trek, you know, watching that one I was like the characters here like are pretty strongly established already. Like there aren't any characters in the first episode where I'm like, oh, they rewrote that ever since. Like there were a couple of things that got like massaged.
They grew.
Yeah, like the I mean the thing.
Especially Julian.
The one thing
Thank
that
God.
particularly comes to mind is Cisco mentioning is like, oh, my father was a gourmet chef.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, now was anymore. That's
And
not
now
gonna
he
be
is
was.
again.
Yes.
He took a break.
But with this, I feel like this is another show where they started off strong and like they had fully developed characters to start with.
Yeah.
And it just went from there.
And part of that also is that you know, as to Caitlin's point, that they did have existing characters that they were building on for the most part. I will say I noticed that they for Uhura they kind of borrowed stuff from the Kelvin movies for her. In that
She did have sleeves.
And the name Yoda.
She has a first name,
Which I love.
She has
and
lines.
she's a linguist.
Yeah.
Right, which was a thing that they did for those movies. So I think that's
Mightn't she have been in the original series as well, since she
No.
was the community?
As long as we ignore that one Klingon scene from the movies.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
saying, and there it was.
Hey, look, she said she knew 37 languages. She never said one of them was Klingon.
I feel
Fair.
like you would learn the language of like
Your enemies?
the one that you're probably most
Klingon
likely.
is
Yeah, it's-
really fucking hard.
It's very much a high priority language sort of situation for
Well,
that.
maybe she
Yeah.
didn't want to get stuck always working on decoding and shit. Maybe she wanted to go see the world.
No, I'm gonna call it a retcon.
Mm.
I'm okay with it.
And I'm fine with
I'm
it.
not upset about it. I think it's good. Like I think the fact that like before, the joke in Galaxy Quest
Yeah.
was that I can't remember the character's name.
Yeah, Sigourney
Tawny
Weaver.
Sigourney
Madison.
Weaver's character. Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
thank you,
right.
Chris.
Like
Good
her
work.
whole job on the ship was to just repeat
Repeat, yeah.
what the computer says, which is kind of like what Uhura was in
Absolutely.
TOS.
Or to repeat whatever some other character says.
I
Yeah.
did enjoy, too, in the Xenomorph episode there, where it was like, that's not how linguistics works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this season they also did a great job when they paired Uhura with Hemmer a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Hemmer really made her character develop. He brought her on a street and set her on a little bike and pushed her to go. And I loved them together so much. And I
Yes.
cried when Uhura gave the speech at the funeral thing.
The
When,
grumpy one is soft for the sunshine one.
Well, that thing, too, is like, what's great about Hemmer is that at first you think, oh, he's terrible. I would say, no, he's got a weird, quirky sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, just even like the magic of science moment from Elysian Kingdom.
Yeah. He was, I mean, again, I didn't love that episode, but he was great in it.
He was the best part of that
I
episode.
gotta say, I'm a tiny bit tired that everybody has the same quirky sense of humor.
Yeah, that's...
In that you're getting lines that any of them could deliver, including Spock somehow.
That's just modern
a
TV.
little too much.
Oh, and I will say, Spock the Dark Wizard in that episode is weirdly sexy.
Yeah, no, I can't deny that.
That's,
I'm
the
not
puppy
happy
was
about it.
my favorite.
That was pretty
Oh my
I
god!
love Princess
and that's
Luna
apparently
so
the
much.
actress's actual puppy.
Is it?
I saw that mentioned
That's
somewhere.
great.
Oh, I love it.
Which, like, also just seeing her just flouncing out there in a rainbow dress.
Yeah.
Like a cupcake.
There's no ship's pet. There should be a ship's pet.
Maybe that'll be second
Like
season.
a Porthos or a Spot or somebody. Somebody should get Spock a pet.
Oh god.
And then have an episode of Spock trying to deal with
No, because then they'll just make it a tribble and it'll just
Oh
it'll
yeah,
be
no,
unnecessary.
certainly not a tribble.
No,
Please,
it can't be a
tribbles.
triple, though, because he would recognize them and boot them off of Space Station K7
That's
Yes.
true.
right away.
Someone should get, I don't know, like an iguana.
It would be very
I
Trek.
would love to be Captain Pike's pet, so I would like to volunteer myself.
I mean, is there a one pet limit? Because
No, you can come.
okay, thanks.
That's the thing, like, really, it does feel like Pike should have a dog, if anything. But we already had
We already
Porthos.
had a dog.
He had a horse.
Yeah, he does have a
You
horse.
let him
That's
bring
fine.
the horse on the
Yeah.
ship. It's a big ship.
Yeah, just have a horse.
Oh, did
In
you
a stall.
notice, Chris? Because I read somewhere online that they took this is going to sound strange. The Enterprise bridge from Discovery. There we go. That's the best way to word that. Made it more intimate and compact.
Yeah, they
for the
definitely
show.
changed
Yes.
the bridge.
Good, because
It
I
looks-
feel like the fact that they were giant, like Olympic-sized swimming pool sets.
Yeah.
was too
That's
fucking
one
big.
thing that does drive me nuts about Discovery is the bridge is too big.
It's so big.
But yeah, no, they radically altered it. It's now closer to the bridge from TOS.
Okay.
If you go back to season 2 of Discovery, there was like the turbo shaft was actually hidden behind a wall that people emerged from, and this and that. Yeah, it was very, very different. They took the excuse of it got really fucked up at the end of season 2 to be like, they redid the bridge, among other things.
Yay! I thought it was a good idea because
Oh, yeah.
having a bridge that's more intimate makes the characters talk to each other more
Yeah.
instead of
It's-
shouting across the void.
It's still definitely bigger than the TOS one probably was, but it's not as
Well,
ridiculous.
it's because TVs are bigger now.
Yeah. Well, everything,
Well,
everything is a lot bigger than TOS. for
Yeah,
sure.
which is
sick bay is enormous.
fine.
Engineering's enormous, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
because
I
it
appreciate
wouldn't
that,
work otherwise.
that they didn't give them a warp core as we think of it now. It's still that sort of more TOS style, just big thing.
pipe organ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
couple other little notes that I took down that I think are funny.
Mm.
Count how many times Spock says it is impossible to tell, Captain. Because it was a lot. I started noticing it, and I made that note down. Like, oh,
Every time he says it, drink.
whoops.
No, I'm already too buzzed.
How
Yeah,
is
I know. This is a good drink, Liz. You done
I'm
good.
glad.
how is Una not fun? If anyone's not fun, it's La'an.
Definitely not La'an.
Like when they were saying, "Oh, where fun goes to die," and poking fun at Una, I'm like, why?
Well, but she's the second in command. That's why she probably
She has
has
a reputation.
She's a
more. But she
hard
also
ass.
probably has more scope
Yeah.
of being
Yeah.
like the one that can kill everyone's fun, as opposed to La'an, who just murders the mood of every room she walks into.
Yeah, like we mostly see her with the other command officers who she's more chill with. She's maybe a little more uptight with like
Cadets and junior.
Oh,
and,
maybe.
like-
See, I didn't. She always struck me as friendly
Yeah.
and in tune with what her crew wants,
Yeah.
so that she would be the type to say like, you guys go have fun."
Mm.
Like, I don't think she was the type that inhibits fun.
no, yeah.
She's not like
La'an though.
I think of it as like if I'd be playing like a toy with a cat or something, and another animal walks in, takes the toy away, and leaves. You just destroyed fun. That's not. I don't think that's Una.
I don't. Well, see, I think it's more like she would be the one to take the toy away from both of them. Like I guess like the way I assumed it, or at least I understood it, is that like she's the kind of leader who's not like, yeah, maybe we should give them some shore leave. She'll be the one like, no, but we really need to get this thing done. It's like she might be nice about it. She's not going to be a hard ass in the way that Lon would be, but I feel like that's I assumed that was what they meant with her being where fun goes to die. It's like she doesn't let them have fun.
She doesn't let you leave early on a Friday in the summers.
No. She might still be smiling about it. She's not going to be cruel about it, but you're still there until the bell rings.
No summers in space.
Also, maybe they were just asking for more acting than Rebecca Romijn has.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think she's fine. I'm not saying she's bad. I just, when I think of Rebecca Romijn, I think of her as Mystique.
Yeah, she's a blue lady.
Without nuance.
Yeah.
Naked and blue. Hot.
Apparently, what is it? She's married to Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, that's right.
Who's the voice of the first officer in Lower Decks. Ransom, thank you. And I guess, when she became Una, and they announced that Strange New World was going to get picked up and all that, I guess her father-in-law was all excited. Oh, I'm in Star Trek. And he's like, Dad, hello.
Yeah, I saw that. It was cute.
I'm already in Star Trek.
Oh, that was on the Star Trek whatever celebration thing, wasn't it?
Maybe, yeah, I think so. But either way, it's like, yeah, but she's in real Star Trek.
Ransom is fun.
I'm sure he is.
Oh my God,
I'm sure he is. I've seen a couple episodes, so I really don't know him that well.
I look forward to meeting him the one time that I have to watch that show for this show, and then forgetting all about him.
I love Lower Decks.
I don't know. Okay.
The best animated
I
Star
haven't
Trek
seen it yet. Maybe I'll love it.
The best animated Star Trek is Prodigy.
I think you are severely shortchanging Bem. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
That fucking horrible green fucking...
I was gonna say, that was the thing, is they had James Doohan do all the other voices, but all the other voices were like every single one of them. They should have had him play Maress.
I'm a cat lady. Oh my.
Oh my God.
We do miss Maress. I also miss talking about our blogtivities. Let's wrap this one up and move into our quick blogtivity for the day. Eagle-eyed listeners will remember that we've done a couple different blogtivities in the past before Strange New Worlds came out. Things like title cards and theme and stuff like that. But Strange New Worlds wasn't out yet, so we weren't able to include them in those blogs. So what we have now is our fill-in blogtivity for those activities so that we can talk about stuff like that. And right now we're looking at the title card for Strange New Worlds. These are up on our Tumblr if you want to be following along. I kind of missed the one that they used in like the original trailer. I think that one was arranged more vertically, and I thought that was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still a really good font. It's the font we all love.
Yeah, it's a
This is like original Star Trek font,
It's a
right?
little boring, I think.
What?
But it's fine.
Look at all the yellow. Look at all the silver.
I like that it's not
planets.
it's not too full of lens flare, but it is lit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the fucking 2009 movie where it was nothing but
Very
lens flare.
vibrant.
Can't see.
What's going on with these planets?
They're kissing.
They're kissing. Oh.
Ah.
Where is the star that's
It's
illuminated?
behind thing.
Is it
Anson
behind
Mount
the,
is
it
the
behind
star.
the
He's
E?
coming next.
Sure.
Okay.
Why would there be a star there? This is
Well, there's planets.
I mean,
that
the
could be
planets
orbited,
are being
The
lit
star could
from
be behind
somewhere.
us.
But
I
the
see.
tops, the bottom
you know,
planet, the
it's-
top is being lit, and the top planet, the bottom.
down here somewhere or something. I don't know.
it could be anywhere.
And
Shut up, Neil
light
deGrasse.
light could be
Jason.
reflecting off of one planet onto the other, like the moon.
Yeah, that's science.
I suppose so.
Sure.
All right, we're also going to listen to the opening theme. Do you want to just watch the credits at the same time, or do you want to listen to it twice?
Oh, yeah, let's just do it all at once.
All right, we'll do it all at once. So we're going to pause so you guys can go watch this on your own so that we're not including this in the recording. So we're going to listen right now.
So, yeah, that was...
Yeah, that's a song, all right.
It's a good theme. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
The song is.
Whoa.
Well,
It's very Prodigy theme.
It's
I haven't heard the project.
It's very.
It's a lot like that. It's the same composer.
There's a part of me that's vaguely disappointed based on just the early teasers they'd done, which, I mean, I knew they weren't going to, but that it wasn't just a theremin version of the original theme.
You're insane.
I am.
I mean, I like the nods to the original series
yeah.
were good nods. I like
Yeah.
that. I like the little doo-doo-doo-doo at the end kind of thing.
I mean, it is the original theme, just
just done like
rearranged.
it's Marvel or something.
Well, just like the key, there's like a key shift or something, and notes, go in a slightly different direction.
Yeah. The opening itself, too, it feels like, shades of Voyager.
Yeah,
But with
I
more
like
money.
that. Yeah,
Where
I
it's
actually
like-
In terms of the visuals?
the visuals I like a lot. I think
Because it's not
it
just
does remind
like
me a lot of Voyager.
Yeah, it's not just TOS or TNG where it's like mostly just the ship flies by and a thing pops up. This is like
it looks
buzzing,
like things are happening.
Yeah, it's buzzing through space, which again
a lot of asteroids.
This is Strange New Worlds. We're going to see Strange New Worlds. Here's some now.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, I mean, again, Prodigy kind of does that, but also has the character faces kind of blended in, which is a little weird. But this is just ship, space.
I want the 90s sitcom version of this where they show, like, the characters having wacky hijinks.
They would definitely show Pike cooking.
Oh,
yeah.
But,
totally right.
I mean, what I do like about this is... Because it's not just, like, it's very much, like, I can see the Voyager comparison. And it's very much a modern opening theme that's very, like, just lovingly rendered clouds and planetary, whatever. But it's still, there's something very classic about it, too. And then it's just like, astronomy, we're just gonna fuck with it a little bit. And, like, that last shot of the kissing planets.
Yeah.
Like, that's a disaster about to happen. And they're just leaving the scene of the disaster.
Well, that's
like,
why
oops, prime directive, see ya!
Well, that's why they're there. They're there to witness this horrific
They didn't even stay to witness it. They left.
Well,
they're still coming together.
Because otherwise, they were going to get drawn in by a huge amount of gravity.
That's true.
But they're like, all right, we did the scans we need. Now let's get far enough away to watch it, but not get crushed.
Yeah, but also the especially the shot that's getting screenshotted there in the still.
Oh, it looks like a Discovery moment from their.
That's
opening.
exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't say it, Liz.
No, it's perfect. You did it.
Hey.
That's it. We're on the same page. It's a very Discovery shot.
I really like watching like the ship light up and seeing it get
yeah,
started up.
yeah.
That's pretty tight.
Though
that
I
makes it
remember
exciting.
seeing comments, some probably on ship posting again, of someone being like, "Why is the ship lighting up like that?" Someone else being like, "There's no reason it would never light up like random windows at a time. It's just because it looks cool."
There was an issue with the EPS conduits.
Sure, yeah.
We also have the opening narration back for the first time since TNG, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different than its predecessors,
Is
and
it?
yet the same. Well, no, I just mean the way you said it.
I think so. It's a
got some
5-year
little
mission,
nuance.
but it's where no one has gone before.
Yeah, so it
Isn't that the same?
So it merges the
Well, Picard was
An ongoing mission.
Yeah.
continuing.
Oh, continuing
Continuing
mission.
mission. Oh, that's right. Okay, so it's still okay. I
So
gotcha.
it's a mix of the TO.
So it's a 5-year mission with no one.
I didn't realize he had a whole 5-year mission as well.
Maybe that's just like routine.
He knows when he's getting face melted, so he's got it. The clock is already ticking.
5 years and back of the horse.
6 months or 6
These are the
years, 3
voyages of
days.
the Starship Enterprise. It's 3-year, 2-month, 8-day, 6-hour,
and some
4-minute
number of
mission.
minutes.
Space, the final frontier. I'm fucked.
I included the comm badges just because this was another blogtivity we did in the past. These are what the comm badges in Strange New Worlds look like. I believe they're the exact same that we saw when they had moments in Discovery.
Yeah.
But just to remind myself to, hey, link to our comm badge discussion. You can go check out what we said about them over there.
Yeah.
They're nice and gold.
Yeah.
Sure are.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
the enamel sort of.
The uniforms are different between Discovery and Strange New Worlds for reasons.
They've grown on me.
What are the reasons?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, sometimes you know, especially
Costumers
when you
need
say
work.
things like
I'll
for
admit,
reasons.
while they looked good, I can imagine those collars were kind of uncomfortable, and the actors are probably grateful.
I
I
know
loved those colors. though.
Pike did say these are more forgiving and I think more comfortable.
That makes sense.
Well, whatever. He's got fabulous legs, and I like looking at them in those pants.
Yeah,
so that's fine.
The shape of them is all good. It's like the TOS general kind of shape without the flary pants.
Thank goodness.
And without just being sweaters, but it's the same general kind of
Yeah.
silhouette, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I do think whatever the fuck Kyle wears
That is...
just looks sad.
Ooh, see, that's the first time I've seen a full shot of him
Yeah.
like that. I always thought it was a jacket or something. That is...
Why is he wearing Dr. Venture cosplay?
They often, I don't know if we ever see it in... No, I'm pretty sure we do see in TOS. I mean, there's jumpsuits. Jumpsuits are a thing.
Yeah, but
I guess that's what he's
God,
wearing.
that's ugly.
Why does he have to wear that? Is he
Maybe
what, commissioned?
Maybe they're his pajamas.
Engineering people, sometimes you see them wearing jumpsuits.
Maybe, yeah.
But
Well,
he
I-
always wears that.
Maybe.
We never see Hemmer wear something like that.
He's got to always be ready.
It's because Hammer has dignity.
Yeah, but Hemmer's an
To the very
officer.
end.
Do we know if Kyle's
Yeah, I don't know.
He might just be.
Kyle's probably
He's a cadet, isn't he?
I thought he was a chief.
No, if he
So
was
was
a
Uhura.
No, if he was a cadet, he'd have the cadet badge, which has like the black background. His is just a regular badge.
Yeah, but he might be like an
enlisted guy, like O'Brien.
Like O'Brien, yeah.
I like that Mbenga has the sort of the Bones style
Medical
shirt
scrub jacket
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a picture, but at one point we saw Pike
Wow.
in his Fat Day shirt.
I don't have a picture of that one.
Oh,
no.
I loved it.
I thought you were going to mention Mbenga's sweet hat.
Oh, his hat.
Oh, the hat.
The fishing hat.
He was so happy when he was fishing. That was amazing.
I loved that shot. It's like, meanwhile, Mbenga
He's
having
just
a great
having a
day.
good day.
The
I
big
love it.
music, the slow motion.
The loving. Yeah, it's so good.
Good for him. I think of the general uniforms, when we first discussed them, we couldn't tell yet what was on the sleeves, and I'm still so angry that they put fucking insignias all over their sleeves.
Deltas all over your sleeves.
They're not the deltas
No,
this
they're
time,
the
though.
departmental.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
So it's like the star, the swirl, the circly
Circle
bits.
thing.
I do like the refigured away jackets.
I like them
The
too. That's
jackets
why I
are nice.
included them.
And they brought
That's why.
back goggles a couple times.
I saw the goggles.
Which, again, because, it's like, why do people always go down to planets in the same clothes, no matter the situation? Do you not have jackets?
You know, something I noticed watching the show was that I think it's either Lon or Ortegas, one or the other is, or both perhaps, have lieutenant commander stripes on their sleeves, but they're referred to as lieutenant. But historically on Star Trek, lieutenant commanders are always referred to as commander. So I thought that was a weird change, and I wonder if there was a particular reason for doing that.
Don't know.
I wonder. So that's something that I'm curious about. Is so I mean, in the era of the original series, we were talking about a generation after World War II, and then Korea, and then you're not too long after Korea. So you have like a writer's room full of people who have served, or at least like a culture steeped in military, like just a familiarity with military life. That's arguably there can be an arguable connection today, just because this is like the first year, like we're not at war officially or in a police action or whatever in however long. But I mean, I'm curious to know who in the writers' room does have that same kind of familiarity.
Yeah, but well, it's not even just like military experience. I feel like it's also just Star Trek, like because it's pretty consistent throughout even the Berman years, where like Worf, once he's made a lieutenant commander, he's referred to as Commander Worf.
Is that so? How would that compare to real life?
I think
protocol.
I think
no idea.
In the Navy, I don't know enough about the Navy, but someone could tell us. But I'm pretty sure that does come from like naval custom.
Okay. Because that was going to be my next question. Like, would this be a correction?
Because like, the rank would be like lieutenant junior grade, who you refer to as a lieutenant. And then you have like full lieutenant, which you refer to as a lieutenant. And then you have lieutenant commander, which is not like the next grade of lieutenant. It's the lower grade of commander. That's
true. Okay.
So it's just like so like that's naval, but like in the Army or Air Force, you'd have a colonel or a lieutenant colonel, and you refer to both of them as colonel.
Okay,
I think.
Cool. I'm bored now. I want to talk about the dress.
Sorry,
I was going to mention the dress.
Thank you.
Is there a picture of the dress?
It's right there.
Oh, I thought you meant the princess dress from
no.
the Elysian Kingdom for some reason. Yes, the dress.
Weird. No, the Starfleet uniform action dress.
Yes.
That Rebecca Romaine specifically requested, which I kind of love that she did, because that's great for her. And also because she specifies, like, this is going to be a dress that I have to be able to kick ass in. Because I'm still an officer on the job. We do a lot of running around, kicking the ass. So good on her for asking for the dress that is still pretty reminiscent of what we saw in TOS-ish. The thing I want to specifically mention, draw attention to, is the black paneling on the side that we don't see on the shirt, but we see on the dress.
And on Kyle's horrible jumpsuit.
On the jumpsuit.
That's true. It's on the jumpsuit too. I didn't notice. See, I didn't notice the jumpsuit until I found this screen grab. So
Yeah.
But I think the paneling, as someone who watches a lot of Project Runway, you do that to make someone look slimmer.
Yes.
And why don't they do that on the shirts too then? Why only on a dress?
So I assume they don't do it on everything because, like, the shirts come first. The shirts are meant to be reminiscent of the original series. And I
But
feel
the dresses on the original series didn't have this either, though.
No, but the dresses were also
They also didn't have tights and had diapers under them.
That's the thing. The dress was the entire piece of fabric in the original costume. You had legs to contrast. Here, it's the body's fully covered, so there's no she's got full sleeves.
Short sleeve too, right? Or no sleeves?
No, Kelvin.
They had long sleeves.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
They had long sleeves in the original.
Yeah, because that's where their rank is.
Yes, and where their rank wasn't in the Kelvin dresses because fuck women, I guess. But I think. I mean, they probably could get away with that, but I think maybe I'm imagining they were looking at a full dress with that command gold and thinking that's a lot of yellow. It's just a big panel of yellow.
So is the shirt.
No, but it's not a lot of yellow because it ends at the waist or around the hips.
Well, it's a lot of yellow if you see one of the yeomans running around on TOS wearing yellow.
Yeah, but then you see her legs.
You see her. You see Rebecca
You
Romijn's
see
legs.
pants.
Speaking as a woman who wears dresses, I would much rather have that black panel be there than not. I think it would just be too much without it. Or she'd need a belt or something to break it up otherwise.
It's just a continuous mass.
They would have to do something. It would definitely be too much. Yeah,
I would not want a full yellow dress. I would not. Absolutely not. I can already see myself looking at myself in the mirror being like, I look like the Yellow Submarine.
Yellow's hard to pull off in general.
Would it, because I know we see Uhura wear the same thing in red, would a whole red one give you the same impression?
Probably not.
Everybody looks good in red. Red's a much easier color to wear.
Yellow is... It's just so bold.
I don't know if this is an urban legend or not, but allegedly part of the reason they swapped command from gold to red in TNG was because Patrick Stewart couldn't pull off yellow. I don't know if it's true.
Very pale and he does have a yellow undertone to his complexion.
It would have maybe looked a little weird.
He does have a yellow undertone. I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
he's more of a summer.
I mean, the other thing is, I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's because they're all white. If someone with Mbenga's skin tone were to wear it, I think they could get away with
the dress,
a yellow dress.
He'd look great in the dress
because that kind of color, it shines on dark skin tones, but we don't see many dark skin tones in TV shows. So, someone like Rebecca Romijn, that's a lot of yellow.
Yeah, see, it's not even it's a lot of yellow that was the thing that made me want to bring this up. It's the specific pattern that they do that is that slimming effect that just makes me say, you might want women to look skinnier.
There's that too.
Great. Thanks. I don't see you doing this to the shirts, and that was kind of why I looked at this and was like,
that's fair.
Well, there are women in the shirts too, though.
Yeah,
it's true.
Half the people in shirts are women.
I did hear somewhere that in the future we may see the male actors in the dress cut.
Yes.
Like we had with the scant.
Bring back
Justice for the scant.
Which I think will be fun. And then maybe I'll complain less about you want the women to look skinnier.
Well,
okay,
I think
kind of thing.
We even got...
But we'll continue to objectify Pike as much as humanly possible.
Of course we will.
I want
to making up for lost time.
Yeah.
I want to say we actually got a scant or two in Discovery even. Season 2 though, I think.
I don't remember.
With the Enterprise uniforms?
No, with the disco style ones, the navy colored ones. Because I know they introduced that look, and at the very least, there are definitely women in them, but I think a guy...
Oh yeah, there is. There's at least one dude that runs by in a scant at one point.
He might be in medical white, though, now that I think of it. But there was at least one Discovery era
I feel like he had
scant.
good legs. No, shit. Am I thinking of TNG scant guy? Was there a scant guy in TNG?
There was definitely a scant
where
guy
a
in
scant
TNG.
came from.
Damn it. Maybe I'm thinking of TNG scant guy.
Well,
Anyway, last thing, speaking of medical white, I do like the white on Chapel, but it might be because her hair is so white that it looks really poppy, but I enjoyed it.
I don't like the white jumpsuit.
No?
white jumpsuit on a pale person with white hair. It's
She's
so
a little
much.
ghostly.
It's a bit much for me.
It reminds me of, didn't you tell me, Chris, that you once saw a person with albinism who was wearing an all-white suit and had
she was
white
running
glasses?
with it.
I kind of love it as like a...
White outfit, white shoes, white hat, sunglasses with chunky white frames. She was like, I am just going to make myself a character from a movie.
And I just kind of feel like that's, as a decision, as a look, I kind of like it.
All right, let's move it forward because we only have a couple other slides I wanted to show you guys. We do see an update to the Admiral uniform when we talk to Robert April.
Yeah, and an update to Robert April.
Yes.
It's similar-ish to the kind of Discovery uniform in that it's kind of the blue with the gold on the shoulders, but it's a lot less gold. Sorry, Admirals, I know you fucking love gold.
I really do.
Gold! He loves gold!
I don't remember the Discovery ones well, but
They were just the normal Discovery uniforms, but with a lot of fucking gold.
Yeah, this is a nice squared-off jacket. It looks good.
It reminds me of the away jackets from Beyond. Star Trek Beyond, which I love.
Yeah, I like the kind of the flap kind of that goes down the side a little bit. It looks like it's got a little closure.
You can throw it open when there's some action happening.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're going to jump forward and take a look in the flash-forwardy kind of thing we see in Quality of Mercy. Is we see their take on the Wrath of Khan era uniforms that I know Chris loves so much. What did you think of what they did to them, Chris?
I love the alligator skin.
Aside from that, I like it. But yeah, like what Jake said, it didn't need the pattern.
And what's their excuse this time? What insignia is that? Is it just pips?
Who knows?
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I think it might just be deltas again.
Sequins.
But aside from that, like, it's not hugely... I want to say the flap is more angled. I feel like it's more straight.
It is definitely.
I don't mind that. Overall, no. I mean, when I saw it from behind, I was like, oh shit, they didn't. And they did.
Yeah, they got the collar like dead on. The collar looks great.
It looks thinner, though.
They got the badge. It's...
Seeing the
that is
down
annoying.
the shoulder, like, it's very distracting to me, though.
And the stripe on the trouser is a very metallic material instead of just flat. That I was fine with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overall, as far as a reimagining of it goes, like, yeah, sure.
Have we gotten a good look at what those medals are on his on the strap?
I'm sure some nerd has pointed out what they are. I've never
literally it's on Reddit.
I've never been sure what those were, even in the movies.
They were rank insignia, so he might be like a commodore or an admiral.
Well, that I think he's an admiral, but he's got the like wrist things.
Oh,
too,
those ones you're talking about. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we see Uhura in dress uniform briefly. I think this might be the only time we see any dress uniform, so I don't know if it's different for cadets.
This looks like a McDonald's uniform.
Oh my god, it does!
Well, I was going to say I like this, but now you're right.
But also, it looks like the same shit that he had in his Admiral jacket. Like, well, we have some of this garbage left over, let's slap that onto the dress uniform.
Or maybe it's just a difference in lighting. I think, so... especially when I rewatched it with my family recently, I think I got the same. I realized I was having the same reaction to the uniform that I had the first time, and I was much more conscious of it. And that is noting, like, being suddenly very aware that Uhura, or at least the actor, I cannot remember her name, is a busty lady.
Celia Rose Gooding.
Thank you. That's right, Gooding. I remember that. And so then I suddenly like started to scrutinize this uniform because it's so easy to make a full bust just look too much or to dress it badly. And I liked the cut of it. Just with a lens on that, I liked the cut of it because I feel that's a good point. It did her figure justice. And I think the angle of the top panels also was flattering to it. So it didn't just because a lot of times if you put everything up here, like you have a high collar and you have a full bust, your tits look huge. It's so easy for your tits to look huge no matter what you try to do, and people be like, this is a little too much, isn't it? I'm like, I can't do this. This is my shape. There is substance under this shirt. So I think the angle probably at least was designed with that in mind. I would assume.
Since she's the only one that ever had to be seen in it, they just designed it for her and called it a day.
And then everything after that is going to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the metallic-y look of the red is a little too much. I think it could have just been less shiny.
It looks like when...
piping.
But I mean, I guess the thing is, though, when you think about the TOS dress uniforms we saw, they were metallic versions of the shirts. It was like a very shiny blue, a very shiny... Well, Kirk was in green, because unlike the shirt he wore, because the shirt was green, but it was the color correction that made it look yellow.
Yeah.
So, but the material of his dress uniform didn't go through that change. So, I mean, that in a way is just straight out of TOS.
Yeah, but the red looks like the fucking mesh jerseys you would put on in, like, high school to play soccer. Or not even, like, elementary school. It just looks like, okay, the ones with their red things are...
I mean, it ain't great. Again, we also don't know. This might specifically be the cadet dress uniform.
She looks bedazzled. And, yeah, that's a good point.
And, like, she's sick of your shit. Also.
Well, because she is. She's a whore. A whore is sick of everyone's
Well, it's because
shit.
she just found out that she got hazed. This is probably where she's like, you actually wore your dress uniform? Duh.
I do like the collar, though.
Yeah,
the collar's
texture.
fine.
I like the collar. I like the zip.
I didn't notice that it was ribbed.
Yeah.
I like that for a change, they're not hiding their zipper for
Yeah.
this. And she's like, you know what? They have a zipper on this. Fuck it.
Yeah. Oh, you'll love the Enterprise uniform. Zippers everywhere.
I do love that about
God.
the Enterprise uniform.
So
I hate
many
Enterprise
pockets.
And pockets.
Well, yeah. Well, those are very functional uniforms.
And this one might be the last one, because I wanted to bring up, because before we talked about Romulan uniforms, and I know the TOS Romulan uniforms were some of our favorites. How do these compare? Because they redid them a little bit.
Less boxy.
As far as an update goes, I like it. It's still got the triangle pattern without it literally being a knit scarf thrown over someone's shoulder.
Yeah.
I like the little collar. They kind of suggesting the material with the whatever you call those lines.
Yeah, the kind of textury
Geometric
lines.
piping.
Yeah.
Sure.
As far as updates go, it's pretty inoffensive.
It was really tough getting screen grabs because it's so darkly lit.
Yeah.
You know what is offensive? His forehead looks like a whole ass. And I feel like he belongs as, like, the Romulan that Frasier hangs out with. Like, I feel like he and Frasier would be buddies.
He looks very
Oh my god,
smug.
they would.
Yes.
Wait, he's a Romulan.
Well,
I
I
would
know,
argue
but
that
even more than normal.
I would argue that his forehead doesn't look like a whole ass so much as the ass cleavage.
Oh, well, excuse me.
It's just like
Liz
his
is the
eyebrows
butt
are the pants.
connoisseur. Is the butt connoisseur here. The cleftal ridge or horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say these look very sharp.
Yeah.
I like the belt an awful lot.
Yep.
Oh, it's
I
nice
like
belt.
the sash. I like the sash.
I kind of miss the clashing fabrics that we got in TOS.
That's
how
fair.
The clashing was kind of
Part of the point.
Yeah, it was very specifically done, very purposefully done. While these look very like the textures between them look a little samey.
Mm. No, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, the shoulders come to a nice little point, but not too big a point.
Yeah.
I was a little sad that nobody had helmets on.
No, there were.
True.
There
Where
were-
are there?
there
I missed
were
them.
So that's
background
it. There
people.
they weren't the same full head helmets like they were, but they had these little like skull cap helmets.
To hide the
I
ears.
was not
No,
impressed.
they show the ears in this one. That's the
Bastards.
thing. They weren't trying to save money on ears this time.
I do like that somebody's apparently vaping quite a bit.
Well, because they got a little fucked up by this point.
Fair.
Because at first I thought that too. It's like, why is there all this smoke? It's like, oh, right, because they're damaged.
I also think we got a glimpse. I didn't mention this, but I think we got a glimpse of the artificial singularity.
Oh, is that? Yo, you're right.
Oh,
I think
don't
we
remember
did.
that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but it kind of looked like it.
Or at least a screen depicting it or something. Yeah. An engineering readout. God, the fucking Romulans and the worst power source in the galaxy. They are so dumb. Okay, we found out how to make a tiny black hole. Wow, that sounds dangerous. What are you going to do? Put it on literally every ship we own.
Okay, but like, remember how we use nuclear power and it's horrifying?
Oh, yeah, no, it's a bad idea as well, but
Not on the
nuclear
same
power
scale.
versus we literally made a black
Tell
hole.
Chernobyl.
Nuclear power is incredibly safe. We're not going to be an anti-science podcast.
Well, listen, it scares me, okay?
I'm just saying,
I'm not anti-science.
Here's the thing. Energy sources, by and large, are basically controlled explosions.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have a risk factor. I mean, a warp engine is literally taking matter and antimatter and smashing them together. These people are like, let's take the most voracious thing in the universe and run our ships with it. This is not the point. Anyway.
If
yeah.
we use coal, can we destroy someone else's planet?
See, they should use coal in space because there's no atmosphere to destroy.
There you go.
That's actually not good. Not a bad idea.
Did you say ungood?
I did. I said not ungood.
Look,
Double plus ungood.
people
bitch.
used to say unclosed doors, so...
Listen, you're the one that handed me alcohol. I can't be held responsible for this.
Yeah, I think the hangover's kicking in, so let's wrap this up.
So this is an outro. Look at us go.
This went well.
Thank you for watching Strange New Worlds. I hope you liked it too. I'm looking forward to what they do with season 2.
Yay.
Free Una. God damn it. So yeah, check us out whenever that comes out, maybe. Who knows? But also check us out because we're actually covering Voyager right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're entering season 4. So we got our new Borg character that we just picked up last episode that we talked about. And we're going to see what we're going to do with her. Yeah, so check us out when we're doing more Voyager. We're covering episodes next week, The Gift and Day of Honor. I'm forecasting... I'm going to intro those. It'll be a good time. Other than that, check out all these pictures that I grabbed over on our Tumblr, sshbpodcast.com. You can chill with us on the Facebook and the Twitter, and, wherever the hell it is. Wherever you go, we're there. I'm behind you right now, wearing my Romulan costume.
Every move you make, every heart you break, she'll be watching you.
I'm going to make you guys drinks every episode now. This is
No,
great.
no.
I'm just tired.
I already have
Sure.
regrets.
So, listen to more of the podcast. We're over on SoundCloud or all of the other podcast locations. We're on them. Listen to us wherever you like. I'm done. This is Ames.
I'm Caitlin.
Jake?
Chris?
And Liz.
And Liz.
Thank you for joining us, Liz.
Thanks,
Thank,
Liz.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, guys.
Drinking.
Hit it!
I'd just like to point out, you didn't thank the audience for listening to the podcast. You thanked them for watching Strange New Worlds.
You did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, okay, cool.